Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Caressa KK, and I'm the coordinator of career readiness and professional development here with Roosevelt University. Today, we're speaking with Deb Orr, who is a department chair and professor as well with Roosevelt University. How are you doing today, Deb?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me, Cress.
Oh, no problem. It's such a pleasure being able to speak with you. We know that you've been with the institution for quite a while and done some really remarkable things. So it was just a natural pick to have you for this conversation. We're doing an interview today because we're looking to campaign for our workshop, where it's actually a conference called Women on the Move, Standing by My Sister. So we just wanted to kind of pick your brain because this conference is actually about allyship, equity for women, mental health in the workplace, as well as kind of bridging the gap together a little bit regarding pay disparities. So
Mhm.
let's jump right on in. So my first question for you would be, what does allyship mean to you in both your personal and professional life?
Allyship, is about being there and supporting other people as they confront kind of organizational barriers to their full potential, right? And it's interesting because I was thinking about that just recently. I was doing a presentation somewhere else that was connected to this, and I thought very much about the intersectionality of allyship with leadership. One of the things that's really critical in leadership is that good leaders are marked by how much they develop others. And so when we think about the notion of allyship in the context of leadership, it's really about ensuring that the people that you work with are really able to be the leaders and the performers that their potential tells them that they are. And so for me, that's a really profound and important piece of thinking because leadership is very much an important aspect of what I teach.
Absolutely. Can you talk a little bit about like the type of courses that you do teach and like the significance?
Sure, I teach in our organizational leadership program, our Masters of Arts in Organization Development program, and in our doctoral program in interdisciplinary leadership. And so the commonality in this, of course, is about human potential and thriving. We want people, the world does best when everybody does their best work, right? We all have different skills and talents. And to make the world a better place, we have to leverage those skills and talents. And if I'm in a position to help you do that, Caress, I should. Not just for you, but for the world at large and also for the organization in which we are a part.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. In fact, that was one of the things that Dr. Sherrod and myself actually discussed. Just ways that we can obviously like help others. And then, of course, just that significant difference between being a boss and then being a leader. And she shared this really awesome story of how like she worked an event, and she was like, the lady said, "Oh, will you come back?" And she said, "Absolutely. But let me show you how to lead versus being a boss. Let me show you how to delegate." That was her word.
Mm-hmm.
So no, that
Yeah,
was
and there is a huge difference between being a senior level administrator and being a leader. You don't have to have a formal role to be a leader.
I hear that. I love that. So then let me ask this. Can you share maybe like a memorable moment when you stood by a colleague or a sister in need? And then what type of impact did that have?
Oh, I can't say a very specific thing that I've done, though I am firmly in that camp. I would say I do a lot of little things all the time. And I think that that's really what progress is about. It's about making it a part of your daily habit to promote people, to ask them questions, to give them opportunities and validation and reassurance and guidance and direction. And so, while I don't necessarily have a dramatic story to share, I do feel that the small steps that we take every day are the most meaningful because they're cumulative.
So then maybe I can ask this question. And what advice do you have to someone that's maybe like just entering the workforce, fresh out of college, but they maybe feel like they have like imposter syndrome?
Get a mentor,
I agree.
get a mentor right away. And I will tell you that that was one of the most important things that I did for myself as a young person is that I got a mentor, and I still see her. She's
Um,
a retired academic, and she influenced my life in very profound ways. She asked me questions. She poked me a little bit when I wasn't really doing everything I should be doing. She encouraged me. She challenged me, and and there's times we didn't agree about everything, but we she really wanted what was best for me, and I felt that, and I think that that's a piece that all young people should have in their career is have someone who wants something the best for you.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. I mean, so the Office of Career Services, we manage a professional mentoring program. And today we had a student stop by and she shared such awesome news. She said, you know what? You connected me with this person, and then they connected me with somebody that works for a big four. And that person was like, let me look over your resume. And then was able to tell her, you know what? There are going to be some positions open like Monday. Apply and let me know. And like those connections are everything, but then also that advice that they gave about the resume and anything else. Like, it's sometimes it's not always about what you know, it's also about who you know, because they can teach you something else of what you should be knowing.
Mhm. Well, connections are really important. We learn from other people. We can ask for advice from other people. It's not necessarily always about getting jobs. Sometimes it's about getting a new perspective, right?
Exactly, exactly. And we get a lot of that. I mean, we have another mentee mentor pairing. Well, it's Dr. Sherrod and one of our students, Brianna Robinson. And she's been able to be such a delight. Like even before Brianna switched majors, Dr. Sherrod, she was a champion and a cheerleader for whatever that Brianna wanted to do. And also just making sure to provide that insight of like just being able to keep going, keep it pushing. And then also just even like your branding, like what does your professional brand look like? And it's
Mhm.
been really refreshing just coming from somebody like a Dr. Sherrod who shares the same membership in the same organization, but just has a heart just for people in general. So no, that's really good. So now my question to you would be actually then, what was the best advice that your mentor ever gave you?
Not to be afraid. I can't say that's always something that I can follow through on. Sometimes things are scary, right? You don't want to fail. You're a little intimidated by something. Um, but she encouraged me to challenge myself and to, work hard and don't be afraid to try these things. Don't be afraid to see what you're made of.
Good advice. Scary, but good advice.
Yeah, yeah.
So then my next question for you would be then, how can women support one another to create inclusive and empowering workplaces?
Women, it's by encouraging each other, by validating each other, by saying, I see you, I hear what you're saying, let me support you in that. Speaking up in meetings for other people. If they're, I'll give a story from myself. I remember once I was in a meeting, I was a young person, and I had suggested a solution to a problem, and it kind of got glossed over and they moved on. About 5 minutes later, someone said my solution. And I'm like, hey, that's what I just said. And another person identified that and say, well, Deb just talked about that about 2 minutes ago. Why don't we talk about that idea? And that was incredibly validating to me that someone would identify that I had previously made that solution and then say, why don't we talk about it? And I think that the more that we can do that for each other, the better off we are.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that what you're saying is very spot on, especially when you're talking about like allyship with other women,
Mhm.
or just being able just to say, I want to make sure to build that gap or build a bridge, regardless if it's pay disparity, presence or acknowledgement professionally at work. I think a lot of times, especially for like students that are coming in fresh out of college, like trying to find their way. It's overwhelming. And to your point, it is scary. But I love that advice that you gave earlier. Be brave.
Yeah.
Be brave. And bravery looks very different for a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah. It's not, swords and shields. It's speaking up and being confident, and that's scary sometimes.
Yeah, it is. It really is. So then I wonder, what excites you most about the upcoming Women on the Move Standing by My Sister conference?
To hear other people's perspectives. How do other people see this issue and how are they engaging it? I think it would be an incredible opportunity to hear these stories from different facets and perspectives. You know, my experience is not your experience, and students' experience isn't our experience. So, how are other people engaging this question? And what are the struggles that they're having, and what are the triumphs that they've had? And those are lessons that we can apply to those small little actions that we do every day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So then my next question for you then would be, how do you personally ensure that allyship is a part of your daily life and your leadership style?
I like to think that it is, but we're not perfect people. And how do I ensure it? I guess I ensure it by following some organization development principles, which is to invite people into the conversation and be inclusive around how we're addressing an issue or a problem, and ensuring everybody's had an opportunity to speak and that everybody's words are actually heard or recorded in some way so that we can find the best solutions to problems or the best way forward. So that inclusivity is really crucial to success there.
Absolutely. It seems like what I'm hearing is that inclusivity is a collaborative effort.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
so it's not just about, oh, well, I'm the boss or I'm the leader, but also it's about us as a team because there's no I in team, or either when the team wins, I win.
Right. We
Yeah,
all work together and it's everyone's problem. And if I'm not going to deal with it, it's going to end up on your plate, right? That's not, and the problem's still there. So we might as well tackle it.
exactly. No, I love this. So here's a fun question for you.
Mhm.
Do you have a song or maybe a quote that makes you feel most empowered?
Hmm. I have in my signature on my email a quote from a Greek philosopher about doubting yourself, and that if you need a witness, be your own. So, and basically, that is the idea that your experience, your perspective on seeing things is relevant and that it is meaningful. So, be your own witness, you know, um, advocate for yourself
I,
and allow others to advocate for you too, but be your own witness.
do you ever find that that's maybe like an issue or like a challenge for some, like allowing for someone else to advocate for them?
For sure. A lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people want to be heard on their own terms, or it makes them uncomfortable, like they feel like they have a debt, that they don't want that. Um, which is why having a relationship with the people that you work with is so important. So, how to advocate for someone else is an important piece of that conversation. For you, it might be one way. For my other colleague, it might be another.
Absolutely. So what would you maybe recommend for someone just to kind of get out of that mindset of I have a debt because now someone else has advocated for me?
I would say advocate back. That's what we do, right? We take care of each other in group situations. So if someone advocated for you, advocate back. And
No,
I not that I see that as a debt, I would never, but if you feel that way, that's a good answer to that. You've paid your debt if you feel that way.
support those who have supported you.
Exactly.
No, I like it. Well, let me take this moment just to say thank you so much again for taking this opportunity to speak with myself. This women's conference means a lot to this department as we're now allowing a platform, or at least presenting a platform and expanding it for not only people on our campus to come and hear stories and share stories, but also people outside of our Roosevelt community. And this is again with the objective of just allowing people to feel empowered by way of your finances, your mental health, your presence at work, because these things are a lot of the times a lot of who we are. We spend so much time at work. We spend so much time with other people. So being able to pour in and take back out is an awesome opportunity to have. So thank you so much for this interview.
This has been a pleasure. Thanks so much, Chris, for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. Okay, I'm going to stop recording now.